Yeah, we would not be having this press conference right now if Leslie wasn't a Seahawk. He was the first person I called when we got the job, and hopefully I made it very clear to him that we needed him. And he's just a great compliment to my skill set, to my personality. He's such a great connector with the players, such a great communicator. He calls our bluff when we're full of crap on defense, when we do stupid stuff and game planning, which happens probably too much more than we want. But he's been tremendous. We love Clint. He's done a great job. I haven't thought about it yet, so think about that later. Man, I think one of the great things about our team is that we grow together, and that's something that that's part of my life. It's been a journey. It hasn't always been. My faith hasn't always been strong. You have doubts. It's kind of a roller coaster ride, and over the last few years, it's been really strengthened, and you see what our players do and what Jonathan Rainey does every day and brings people together. It's a journey that we're in together, and it's empowering, and it's inspiring to pursue that part of your life that's so important. Yeah. Yeah, I'm incredibly happy for him. He's played great football for us all year. Just plays the right way, man. Just plays so violently, relentlessly. I mean, even like the sack was on a counter, and then got the ball out, which was something we needed to do to win the game.
Coach, talk about Sam Darnold overcoming obstacles and finally being the Super Bowl champ.
I was just spending more time with Sam on all these interviews. It's like Sam doesn't care about the obstacle. Everyone's made a narrative of this guy, of everyone is they have tried to put a story and a label on who he is as a person, who he is as a quarterback. He does not care. Okay, he just is the same guy every day since he shows up. He's so steadfast. He's a great teammate. His teammates love him. All he's done since he's walked in the door has just been a tremendous player on our football team and a tremendous leader who is the same guy every day. And that's who he is. And that's how we need to talk about him moving forward. Honestly, no. It's when you talk about stacking and stacking wins, which is one of our core philosophies. You have to believe and have faith in the power of doing that over the course of time. So you could really take any element of our team and you can kind of go back to that philosophy. And our run game is a great example. Everybody was talking about a run game at the beginning of the season, but we just stuck to it, kept attacking the details. Takeaways is something. How you affect the court. It's always something, right? There's always some part of your team that you're trying to attack and improve on. But if you stick to the process and the process is right, then the results will get to where you want. But I think what you saw today is just the end point of a team that has been dedicated to become this team since we walked in the door in April. And it started with our off-season program. Then it went to training camp and how they handled the off-season. And we just did it week by week. Yeah, I'm really happy for Ken. Played a tremendous game. Our offensive line played really well. Our tight ends, everyone really dedicated themselves to the run game today, which is something we had to get going to really control the game. And I think this is one of the best versions of Ken that we've up to this point. But Ken's another example, right? Of him and Sharbs did such a great job throughout the season playing off one another. Sharbs goes down. Which, he deserves a massive shout-out, Zach Charbonnet, what he's done for our football team. But Ken, just keep attacking, and keep stacking all those things. This is a system that it takes a lot of reps to feel how to run the zone plays. And you just keep stacking those plays, and then you start to play more decisively, and then those runs starts to pop. Sorry, can you repeat that? I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Mike, was this the successful, dominant defensive performance you were looking for tonight?
Yeah, we won the game.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk about the future ownership of this team. What does it mean to win with Jody at the helm here?
I love answering this question because Jody's been phenomenal since the day that I interviewed for the job. I think vividly of our conversation we had in Baltimore, and I just loved hearing her vision for the team and what she wanted to create for our city and our community and our football team and our franchise. And that was really inspiring because I felt it was aligned with what we wanted to create too, and how we wanted to build our program. And man, when you're aligned on that vision, it's a fun ride. Sometimes it's not that fun, but especially last year, as we're kind of going through the fog of some things, she just had such a great perspective on everything, kept us together, always, backed John and I on some of the tough decisions we had to make, and it lets you make those decisions when she's in your corner, so I'm really happy for her.
Coach, what does it take, you becoming the first head coach, to call the defensive scheme, to call the different defensive plays? What kind of coordination does that take for you to do that with your staff?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because it really is about our staff, filling in all those areas that lets you do both jobs, So I think we've gotten to a point on defense where it's like, look, I'm saying the words on Sundays, but we know what we're going to call. We know why we're going to call it. They've helped build it. They've handled all the details throughout the week that let me do head coaching stuff. Leslie Frazier deserves a massive shout out on that front. AD is a tremendous defensive coordinator. You just go right down the list on our staff of like what they contribute to the game plan and how we call games throughout the game. It's not just like me on the headset just deciding what we're doing from play to play. There's a lot of feedback. There's a lot of kind of recalibration as games go in order to make adjustments, and it takes a lot off my plate, and I think that's what shows with the product on the field.
Why do you think it took so long for it? Because it's so much detail that goes into this?
Oh, like historically?
No, yes.
Oh, I don't know. This is my experience. It's taken us 2 years to get to this point.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. We have a lot of respect for the Patriots, but the answer to that is no. When we said we want to keep it about us, you got to back that up with your actions, and I think that's what we've done. And we respected our opponent. They're a heck of an opponent, but we're really happy for our guys and the 12s and our community. I can't wait to bring the trophy back home. That's what we're thinking about, and that's what we've talked about the whole process too.
Hey, Mike, to that point, right now, there is a big party happening in Seattle and on the streets and down by the stadium. Last time we prayed was about 1 million people.
Yeah.
Very cold weather. Yes, cold this week. You touched on it there. How excited are you then to get back to Seattle with the trophy? And
Yeah.
that line was agreed. Again, this is 2 years of building with Seattle.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a lot of fun. And I was just telling Dave, it's like throughout the NFC, you're not thinking about the Super Bowl. You're just doing everything you possibly can to win that game, to help your team win. And we felt the same way the last 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. Haven't really thought about what the celebration is going to be like, but now that we're there, it's going to be pretty awesome. And look, this is why you coach. This is why you want to do it at this level, because you have the opportunity to bring the 12s, the people, our community together, our players. Let them feel what it feels like the reward of being on this team and be champions. That's what fires you up. That's just what gets you so excited, and that's what makes you so proud of our team. And for us to be able to do it for our community and our team doesn't get any better than this.
Hey, Mike, you talked about the fans. What did it feel like on the field? Did it feel like a home game?
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, it felt well. With all due respect, it's not Lumen Field, okay, with our 12s, but we had, I don't know what the ratio was, but it was an impressive showing by the 12s, and that provided a lot of energy. You know, they had to be on silent cadence the whole game, whereas, you know, a lot of times we weren't on silent on offense. So operationally, that puts you behind the 8 ball, which is what some of the advantage you have playing at home. So 12s deserve a ton of credit tonight because they brought it. Well, John deserves a lot of credit for that process. You know, it's kind of uncharted waters that you have to navigate. And, you know, to the outside eye, it probably seemed like it happened fast, but he did a great job of guiding us through all those decisions. Jody was right there supporting what we needed to do. We're on record with it. Clint had a relationship with him. There's a lot of people in our building that knew Sam, that, you know, could vouch for who he was as a person. The tape backed it up. I think people made too big of a deal of him, of like the last 2 games in the season, which I thought was just dumb. Like, watch the whole season. The guy played great all year. He came into Lumen and beat us. They won like 14 games. So Sam knew Clint knew he could do the stuff that we want him to do in our offense, and then let's rock and roll.
Like you had touched on it earlier, I think it was Lewis when you were talking about who has kind of embraced the role. Whenever it's his turn to step up, and I
Yep.
think that's something that happens throughout the team. Jay said that a few minutes ago. He was there for 2 catches, 10 catches. Have you felt all along that you've gotten that buy-in that coaching staffs are always looking for from just about every guy? Is that kind of the underlying key?
Well, that's who we were all season. And, you know, where does the credit go? It goes to everybody. You know, everybody decided that they wanted to create this type of team, and they decided that they were going to do the things necessary to make it come to life. And that takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of buy-in. It takes a lot of faith. And it shows you that, like, the people on, you know, just responsible for bringing these guys in the building. I mean, with kind of like the like-minded of how they want to operate. I mean, how about Jax? Like, the guy's an absolute stud. He's the offensive player of the year. I don't know what his stats were today, but he affected the game. I know that. And to have that type of mentality that's had all game. There's been some games this year that he hasn't had, you know, 1 trillion yards and a bunch of touchdowns, but for what he does for our football team affects the game in a large, you know, in a big way. And I don't think and I'm glad that he won the reward, because that's what shows for it, you know, and he's just an incredible teammate as well.
What impressed you most about Cooper Kupp?
Cooper is an absolute force multiplier. An absolute stud of a person, stud of a teammate. This should cement him in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. I mean, Super Bowl MVP, 2-time champion, all-time great teammate. Man, I think the other thing that with Coop is, like, the way he's helped our program and how we build what we do from day to day is not talked about enough. You know, he's got a great perspective. I'd be an idiot not to listen to him. You know, sometimes we don't do what he wants, but definitely listen to him.
Last question.
At what point of the season did you think that this could actually be a championship? Your coaching considering the Seahawks had not been the favorite at the beginning.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like you don't have expectations. You want to hit your daily goals. And we knew at the beginning of the season we needed to become a championship team for us to compete for a championship. And so what were you going to do on a daily basis to make that come to life? And that's what we tried to do. And as the season started to kind of declare itself and we kept stacking wins, you knew we had you just want to go goal by goal. So, you know, let's do absolutely what we can to get to the playoffs. Let's try to win our division. Let's try to create as many home games as possible, and let's go from there. And so I think having that mindset allows you to get to a point like this, so you don't kind of, you know, you got to keep first things first and keep it in perspective. But guys have been awesome. Yeah, it's a great special group.